Hop in Heat 2B will drive the mid-mark distributor boat. Todd Yarling in the U.S. West Cellular, Bill Wooster Jr., the owner of that one. His dad, Bill Wooster Sr., well, his boat, Mr. Pringles, is in there with Scott Pierce. Larry Lauterbach will drive the Winston Eagle. Steve David in the Miss Easter Seals for this particular race. And it'll be the Cooper's Express. Mitch Evans will drive. As they come down to the start, Dick Crippen.
All right, Jim, we're looking at lane number 1. The Winston Eagle is there. Lane number 2 is Easter Seals. Lane 3 is Cooper's Express and Mr. Pringles on the outside. Lane number 4, there's the flag, and they are off.
The U.S. West Cellular down by the pit area. Todd Yarling's boat would not start. We're down to 4 boats.
Mr. Pringles taking the lead as they go into the corner, but look at there. Winston Eagle came right up on the inside of her. Now Scott Pierce has got some real competition. If he can hold the speed up on the outside of the course, he may be able to catch the Winston Eagle coming out of the turn. Winston Eagle, Larry Lauterbach out of Portsmouth, Virginia, powering on as he now fights off a battle from the Mr. Pringles.
Up the center comes Cooper's Express. And they're right, 1, 2, 3. We're looking at the outside boat, Mr. Pringles, that turbine boat driven by Scott Pierce. He goes right by the Winston Eagle as they come down to corner number 3.
Cooper's Express has got to be the amazing story here. This is one of the reciprocating engines that we have talked about so many times, going up against 2 turbines and holding right in there in between the Winston Eagle and the Mr. Pringles. Right now, Winston Eagles has again taken over at the end of lap number 1, the lead by about a boat length.
As they come down to corner number 1. For the second time, it's the Mr. Pringles with a slight edge in lane 2 over the inside boat, Larry Lauterbach in the Winston Eagle.
A good chance to explain to the fans that are watching the outside boat does. Whoa! Something blew off! Something blew off of the Winston Eagle. The cowling, it looked like, came right off the back of the boat, exposing that turbine engine, and that's exactly what happened. But it did not slow Larry Lauterbach down at all. So the battle still goes on with Winston Eagle right now coming out of the turn as the number 1 boat, but now about half a boat length behind and trying to close Mr. Pringles on the outside.
And he's picked up his speed over 4 miles an hour, and there's only a mile-an-hour difference between our leader, Winston Eagle, and the second place boat, Mr. Pringles, as they come down to corner number 3 again.
And again, it is Mr. Pringles on the outside trying to hold the speed. That's one advantage the outside boat has, but if the inside boat can peg those pins, then he may have the advantage coming out of the turn. Cooper's Express, Mitch Evans, problems with the boat. He's slowing down off of plane. That means that Stephen David in the Easter Seals boat has now moved up into 3rd place. So dependability of the reciprocating engine here is paying off against another reciprocal. And look what's happened. Maybe the salt water has again gotten to the Winston Eagle. Without that cowling on, it's exposed. It looks like he was losing the rooster tail. And as you look at the boat off to the right side, they've got something flapping on the vertical.
Would you believe that's 200 mile an hour tape that's not holding? They had a crack there in that vertical fin, and they taped it up, and it's starting to unravel.
Well, it certainly hasn't affected the speed at all of the Jiff Presents Mr. Pringles. Now in the lead, Scott Pierce. He's got to be feeling very, very good about the way that boat is running now. And in 2nd place, Stephen David in the Miss Easter Sails. So again, the dependability of that reciprocating engine has paid off for Stephen David in 2nd place. But the leader, Mr. Pringles, in a turbine boat, that is a great win for this boat on this course. There's Stephen David coming home. They've got to be happy. Bob Fendler and crew standing down there on the docks, and they've got to be very happy about how that boat is operated.
All right, Dick, here's a replay. The Winston Eagle loses the cowling, goes up about 30 feet in the air. That was the beginning of the problems for the Winston Eagle and Larry Lauterbach. Saltwater probably took the toll from there on.
We'll be back with more HFC hydroplane racing and the Budweiser APBA Gold Cup in a moment. Mission Bay, San Diego, California. You have 3 boats that did not finish that last heat. 1 boat did not start. The winner was Mr. Pringles, followed by Miss Easter Seals. Here's Mark Spencer.
Scotty Pierce, some great deck-to-deck boat racing there early on.
Yeah, Larry's a heck of a competitor in the Winston Eagle, and we're real proud of how we're doing with our saltwater setup here in San Diego with Jiff Presents Mr. Pringles. And so far, so good. We're looking forward to the big show.
The Hall of Fame is fast becoming a reality. They're about to sign a lease in Tacoma, Washington for the Unlimited Hall of Fame. For more information, P.O. Box 48342, Seattle, Washington, 981. 148.
Let's go right to the lineup for our next heat. The U3 Cooper's Express. Mitch Evans driving with Oh Boy Oberto right in there too. The U2 George Woods Jr. U146 will be Miss Easter Seals. Steve David. Scott Pierce, winner of the last heat, will be in Mr. Pringles. Winston Eagle, Larry Lauterbach back out to do challenge again. Miss Budweiser, Tom Deeth. He's had a perfect day thus far.
They're coming down now for the start of Heat 3A. This will be the final appearance for this set of boats, and they'll need enough points to get into the final. That's coming up shortly.
In lane number 1, Miss Budweiser, Tommy Deeth. Lane 2 is Larry Lauterbach. In the Winston Eagle, lane 3 is the Oh Boy Oberto, George Woods Jr. And on the far outside is the Mr. Pringles. Jeff presents Mr. Pringles, Scott Pierce. Look at that battle as they go into the turn.
It looks like the Miss Budweiser didn't hold lane 1, got some wet tail from the Winston Eagle, who left him plenty of room, and now he's slowing down after a bad bounce. And as we come down the back chute, it's Larry Lauterbach on the inside, the red boat on your right, and challenged once again on the far outside by Mr. Pringles.
And don't count out the boat in the center, George Woods Jr. and Oh Boy Oberto, because again, we are fooling with salt water, which has already fouled up the Winston Eagle twice today. Mr. Pringles so far has had a good run on it. Those two, the boats that are out in front, as we go down onto the course now, and you get a great shot of that nose-to-nose battle. It looks momentarily like one hydroplane, and then they split. Mr. Pringles on the outside trying to use a speed advantage to get a little bit of a lead coming out on the straightaway.
131.5 mile an hour for Mr. Pringles on the very first lap. And it seems that Scott Pierce has had no problems with salt water in that turbine today. He's running good and steady.
He's one of the boats using a new design cowling. Each one of the turbine boats, with the exception of Circus, has tried a cowling which will keep the water spray off of the engine while they're running on the course. In this particular case, Winston Eagle has gone to another cowling because they lost the other one early on. So now he is maybe wondering about the saltwater effect on his boat. But at this point, he sees nothing but clean water ahead of him. On the inside, he's got to be concerned to his right with the Jiff Presents Mr. Pringles. Meanwhile, Miss Easter Seals, Stephen David of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, is in 4th place.
And he's getting a little rough ride there, back of the leaders. As he comes down, he's been pretty steady. Here's the story. Turbine problems with the Miss Budweiser, Tommy Deeth, after taking on some water in corner number 1 at the start of this heat.
Boy, that's a disappointment. The boat had 800 points coming into this heat. A perfect day of racing, and now the gremlins start striking. Oh boy, Oberto, 3rd place. No problem with the boat this time around. You remember in one of the earlier heats, he had some engine trouble, but look at the beautiful spray of water coming on that rooster tail, and then compare it to the rooster tail of the Winston Eagle. Larry Lauterbach's rooster tail has gone down. He's losing power, the 2nd turbine in this race, to have some problems on the course. He is now in 3rd place. 2nd place has gone to George Woods Jr. in the Oh Boy Oberto, still in the lead. Jiff Presents Mr. Pringles, and he crosses the finish line, takes the checkered flag, his 2nd big win of the day. A look at the results board. Mr. Pringles on top with the 2nd win of the day. Oh boy, Oberto with important 2nd place points for the final heat. Here's Jim.
Scotty, the saltwater this trip seemed to bother Budweiser. Circus had their problems earlier. You're the only one that seems not to have too many problems.
Yeah, Jimmy, we really haven't had salt problems since we were here. The first day we struggled in qualifying, but it had nothing to do with the salt. And I'm just real pleased. You know, we don't have as much to work with the Circus and Bud. And these guys, when we design up a saltwater cowling, we just lay a few sticks on the floor and say that's going to be good enough. And so far, they've outfoxed the best in the business, and I'm real proud.
What'll happen from here? We'll have more from the Budweiser APBA Gold Cup on Mission Bay in San Diego when we return.